So today I'm going to do a commentary on what's happening in Daystar regarding Joni Lamb, Jonathan Lamb and Susie Lamb, and the whole drama that has been unfolding recently.
Recently, Daystar made the decision to terminate my son Jonathan Lamb's employment. That decision was not taken lightly. It followed a 15-month review of Jonathan's performance and his refusal to take any steps to satisfy a detailed performance improvement plan put in place. He also refused my offer to participate in a formal mediation to resolve grievances in a biblical and professional manner. Rather than take any steps to improve his performance at Daystar, it seems clear now that Jonathan was focused on fabricating a smear campaign. You see, Jonathan was extremely disappointed that he was not named the future president of Daystar following the death of his father and my husband, Marcus Lamb, despite the fact that Marcus had given a clear directive to the family and to the board that I would succeed him as president. Jonathan's disappointment in not getting his way only deepened when I married Dr. Doug Weiss, who has been such a blessing to me, the rest of my family, and Daystar.
So firstly, I'm just gonna play a clip, and then we're just gonna listen to what one of the conversations had been, just to set the scene of what I'm gonna try and spiritually discern and explain to some extent, just to help those who are struggling to figure out what's going on, with such a big organization, and how's the Christian community responding to this. So let's have a look, and then I'm gonna get into certain aspects of their conversation.
So it's Doug that you're against?
It's Doug that we have no relationship with, yes. I'm not going to fake something that it's not there.
So you're not saying it. It was a viewer comment. Can I read what
Yeah.
a pastor said? This is
Yeah.
a pastor for 35 years. Joni, I've been giving thought and prayer to the issue with your kids.
Who's this pastor?
Here are some thoughts. First, we learn in the Old Testament that rebellion is the sin of witchcraft. The reason rebellion is like witchcraft is because when we rebel against authority that is set over us, we are stepping out from under the protective covering and inviting demonic spirits to attack us with no covering. Witchcraft is inviting demonic spirits to influence our lives. If we feel the authority over us is in error, we have the right to appeal to the authority in humility. If the authority decides to continue with the choice they have made, then we have two options. We remove ourselves from that authority, or we submit to that authority.
Right.
There is not a third option of staying under the authority and attempting to force them to change or stay with our opinion. That is rebellion on steroids and will open destruction in our lives. Correction for those in authority is God's job, not ours. If we try to correct them, we are being God. Correction for those being in authority, again, is God's job, not ours. If I have seen people become self-appointed correctors, which is what we have here.
I'm just going to stop it there. So, first of all, Joni is mentioning rebellion against authority being witchcraft. Secondly, she's talking about self-appointed correctors. Okay, so I'm following what she's saying. The thing is, remember, God uses people in this world. So she just said that what Jonathan and Susie is doing, according to that letter that she's reading, is self-appointed correction. And hold up, Joni Lamb wouldn't know that, because God would have spoken to the spirit of those who he would have wanted to bring forth. Just like in the Bible, when God would send his prophets to kings, it wasn't the prophets going on their own account. It was the Holy Spirit speaking to the prophets and taking that message to those in leadership. So I'm just saying that's a very, unfair assumption that Jonathan and Susie are doing this on their own accord. Because from what I've watched and listened to regarding why they said they were doing this, they were saying it's because they feel this conviction in the heart, conviction from the Holy Spirit. So it's not on their own accord. Also, you can't just write off the idea that God is using someone to correct you. How would you know that they're doing it on their own accord or towards God's accord? So I just wanted to say that it's interesting that she's just saying, they're doing it on their own accord, when the actual fact is number one, she wouldn't know, and number two, Jonathan and Susie constantly mention the conviction in their heart from God.